What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Impel Forward Podcast. I'm your host, Leon, and that's my co-host, Renee, my man, KP. I call him Pierre.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? What's going on? Got a lot to talk about. Some things are up here that we're going to talk about. Some things are not. Durham's Hayti survives. American culture. Farmers sent back to learn how to farm and come back. I wonder who said that. That's crazy. But
That's
let's go.
insane.
Yeah, it is. I was like, man, what in the world is he talking about? Yeah,
So
what y'all want to touch on first? Let's
Do it in order.
what are we gonna
I
get
guess.
to?
we're gonna touch on the Durham's Hayti. We're gonna talk about that first.
Yeah.
And the mayor, he's I guess not him. So well, would you say he's in the news or the Hayti in the news?
I would say, I guess Durham's political candidates, right? Because they're the ones who make kind of the decisions,
Mhm.
and
But
the people
before we
are
get-
the ones,
Before we get too much into that, you said that you now understand why he used the term YNs. You don't got to go into detail of who told you or how you found out. Can you explain why you understand why he said YNs now?
I just feel like a lot of times when you're in that type of position, you're busy, right? So the only way that you can feel a lot more connected to the community and some of the things that you hear it from people around you, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, you may be on social media, you might be on Instagram, but you don't really have that much time because you're filtering calls and emails and everything. So I just feel like sometimes when you have a younger generation around you that's more their ears to the street, or maybe you've heard it enough in conversations, you tend to use that language to be able to better relate because you've heard it from people having conversations around you.
Okay.
I would say
All right.
that.
Oh, I think I think me and KP tried to explain that to you the last time, but you weren't trying to hear.
Yeah, you wasn't trying to hear. Listen. I agree. I see. I understand what you're saying, and that makes sense. I just think that the way I wouldn't say we're judging it, but I would say that we're not being fair. And this is what I mean. When a comedian comes into town, the first thing he does is talk to the locals, whether they're young or old, and he asks, "Hey, what about this and what about that?" So the next thing you know, in his stand-up, he said, "Man, y'all had me over there by McDougal Trace, and then you talk about this," and then the audience who's new to it, like, "Man, he shot it, he knows he's speaking our language." Well, yeah, you got to get what I'm saying. So comedians do it all the time when they come into new towns. They find out the local spots, the local vernacular, and they use it in their routine.
Yeah.
And I guess that's not fair because it's
not really fair because I feel like he has sworn in to be at a higher level, right? He took an oath to be able to, he wants to be the voice of the community, and he, to preserve the integrity of Durham and the people of Durham. So I think it's a little bit different than to compare him to a comedian, right? Because that's kind of their job to be ha funny. But I just think that when you're in, honestly, it didn't bother me, but I see both opinions of the whole situation. I just, there's other things that could be focused on. I guess I think we spent too much time on that, and it's time to get back to some of the things that deserve more attention, such as downtown Durham and Durham as a whole.
Right.
So speaking of downtown Durham, what is the Durham Hayti survives? What did it survive?
So per the article, I guess some investors agreed to, some people would say gentrify, other people would say bring, more newer infrastructure and business and money into downtown Durham, right? Looking into apartments and storefronts, and kind of similar to what they already have now, what they've been building on. To me, I feel like it's just what do I want to say? I don't want to say, it's monopolized, oversaturated. I feel like downtown Durham is oversaturated with these high-rise luxury, what they deem luxury apartments. And that was going to be another area for the developer who put a bid in. And so during the meeting that was held at the town hall, a lot of people showed up so that they can, voice their opinion on why they don't feel like they should move forward with this developer. And before the people even got to speak and voice their, opinions, whether good or bad, the developer automatically pulled out and was like, I'm out. We're not, going to do it. They're, I don't know what they choose to do, but they're out. Now, some would say that that's missed money for Durham, right? That's money for people, business opportunities for people, it could be jobs, bringing in jobs, and of course, more taxes. But how many other high rises do we need? They're not even full. The ones that are down there, like, they're too expensive. The average person, the middle class working person, can't afford to live in those because they're priced way a person's current, I would say, rate of pay, or the standard pay for North Carolina. Can somebody who relocates here, who works remote from New York and California? Absolutely, right? Because the pay is based on their market where they moved from. And a lot of them don't even tell their employer that they moved here, so the market would change. But they can afford to stay down there. But the average middle class worker cannot afford $3,000, $3,500 a month for a one bedroom. It's ridiculous.
Correct. It is definitely getting out of hand. I was just wondering what did Hayti survive, because we talked about this earlier today, and I just I have a need to understand, and so I just kind of wanted to do. I just tried to find out. Okay, what was this vote about? What was this all about? And I'm speaking from just a person that is not a Durhamite, and I'm just calling balls and strikes. Right. Same, because I'm not from Durham. Right. Well, you entrenched into the culture. I'm Durham adjacent now. So this is what I understand, because I didn't understand. If y'all can tell in the chat, I was confused on this vote. What was it? The hire? What was this group? What was it about this group? So what I understand, because it didn't make sense to me, the voting, and then this thing was the story is that he voted for Leo Williams. The mayor voted for this project, and it was 5-2 or whatever, or 4-2. What was it? 5-2.
5-2. It was 5-2.
5-2.
So I now I kind of understand what happened. They obviously last night they had the meeting, and the developer, Sterling Bay lawyer, did a presentation, and this lawyer did a presentation, and with this lawyer doing this presentation, based off of the articles I'm reading, she just laid out everything. And right as she was done, she was like, we're asking to be pulled out. We're going to pull out of this zoning. And so what I understood was that Hayti is this church. Well, not this church. I'm sorry. I'm going ahead of myself. But this particular development is not a historical. It's not zoned because it's on the outskirts, but it's zoned in the hearts of Durham people. Right. But it's not. It doesn't have the historical zoning. The zoning was about building it higher. And a lot of people was like, we don't need any more higher buildings. Right. So the developer pulls out. I see this as a strategic move by the developer. The developer is playing the waiting game, because you know why? What I now read, the developer owns that piece of property. They own it. They pulled out the zoning repurposing project of it. And so when they pulled out of it, those 45 people that we discussed today, they didn't get to talk because Leo and the council was kind of like, what is there to talk about? They pulled out. The vote wasn't to have this project a go or no go. The vote was for allowing them to pull out. And it wasn't about a go or no go. It was about them to pull out of, all right, well, we're pulling out the zoning. And they're pulling out of it because, from what I understand, that church, what is it, St. Mark?
I think St. Mark is right at the bottom of the hill.
Reverend BP. So I understood that they're pulling out. That's what the vote was for. I thought the vote was for he voted for this project, and that's not the case at all.
What I read was,
what
I read was that they are able to still come back and
because they own the property
and do it. Yeah, so
they're able. With
he voted for more infrastructure within Durham. The other two, well, him and a few other people, they vote for.
No, Renee, I respectfully have to disagree with you. That was not the vote. The vote was for allowing them to pull out of their proposal. That's what that vote was for. Because it didn't make sense when I read the mayor's when I read his comments about, all right, his comments were this. Here, what we said. His comments was he said he questioned the lack of clear alternative vision for the vacant Heritage Square site. He emphasized the need for community collaboration, development, develop a new plan. I'm so curious. Basically, what I gather from that is his vote was, all right, I allow them to withdraw their zoning. They bid for approved zoning. That's what he voted for, not for them to a go or no go.
Maybe I read it a little bit differently.
And so what he said, and so what I gather from the articles is that you had a lot of voices in there, and they said that. So he's pointing to them saying, okay, since you guys don't want this, what do you want? I see that you're a leader. I will allow. He said that he was going to allow certain hours to hear what they want. And so since they don't want this, he was like, okay, the constituents have spoke. What do y'all want? And now that I know that y'all don't want this, I will allocate hours to hear what you want. What is your plan? What would you like to see be done in this area? That's the way I took it. Because his comments didn't make sense. It didn't make sense with him voting for, but then he's questioning the vision. He was talking to the constituents. Okay, I hear you. What do you want? I'll allocate hours so that we can pull together.
That's where I got that particular comment. But when I read what's this?
What you talking about? What I got up right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it remains unclear if Sterling Bay's request to pull the rezoning is for the taller buildings or if the developer is withdrawing the entire project.
Right.
They were withdrawing from the zoning. So I understood why they were going for the higher building, because that ties into that church, St. Mark's. St. Mark's had a sink. So they was worried about upsetting the foundation, right? Because that particular church, they were questioning that this particular construction would affect the structural or the foundation of this historical founded Black church. I think this church was founded in the late 1800s. And
wait a minute. Go back up. It says, what does it say that Leo said?
It said he wants a planning meeting in the coming weeks to discuss what will happen in the neighborhood where the project was
with
planned.
The community. That's the way. Now it makes sense.
I read it because they shut it down. He's asking the community, hey, it didn't go through. What do you want to see? If you're here to say no, then that's what. But he was in favor of this, and now he's coming back saying, hey, if you don't want this, what do you want? Since they pulled out, right? You didn't want this. What do you want this to look like?
Yeah, he definitely was in favor of it. I seen a video when.
I think that's a two-part that he probably was in favor, but I think this particular meeting was about the zoning, about them actually going higher with the building. And I had to understand why they wanted to go higher. And from what I understand is from that church had a leak maybe in 2020, and it costed them like $20,000. They had a sinkhole in the parking lot, and that parking lot is in the back of wherever they're trying to build this building. So they were thinking that bedrock is not solid enough for them to do any construction. And if they dig down deep enough, it may upset the foundation of bedrock that may cause that church parking lot, that sinkhole that opened up. Now it cost them, I think, about $20,000 to repair those old pipes, probably back in 21, I think, or something like that. But what was another tell sign is the proposal that this lawyer was presenting. In their proposal, they allocated $120,000 to the church parking lot if anything is upset as a result of the construction or anything that may happen as a result. That person had that in the proposal. I think they allocated like $120,000, which is $100,000 more than what it cost to repair the church repair that parking lot when that sinkhole opened up. So I'm just trying to.
You gotta. So this is his response because he was for it. So he was saying to the community, I'm curious. If not this, then what? William said it can be all no. And then don't respond with something. We got to have something. I don't want to drive down to NCCU and continue to see the same thing. I want this to be one of the most vibrant neighborhoods in the city of Durham. And right now, I don't know what that looks like. And he.
Yeah, that's the video I saw when he was talking.
Yeah, he was for it.
It's no question about him being for it or against it. I understand that he's probably for it because it went forward with a proposal, so he had to be for it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is what I'm seeing in a leader that he is. He said,
but there was no affordable housing in that, right?
So look. So what do the people want? Because evidently something is going to be done. Correct.
I think that
or no, it could be a stalemate and that never gets done.
That's true. It can be true. I think we need to look at more community, right? I think we need to look at something that is going to bring jobs. If it's, to Durham. I don't think having another high rise and a pool, a rooftop bar is going to do that. I think.
Do you understand why they wanted to go higher? It was because the original plan had them putting the parking lot underneath the building.
Right.
And as a result of the bedrock and upsetting the foundation of the church, they decided that we're not going to do that. We'll just go higher. And that's what this meeting was about, the rezoning to go higher.
Right. But in addition to go higher, you have to do what? You have to build something to make it,
absolutely.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just feel like we could do
right. No, I get it. I'm just trying to put it in context.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to when you talk about affordable housing, like we talked, I think it's definitely subjective, right, to everyone, because affordable may be $700 to me and $1,800 to you. So I and then you group it together, then it's almost like you created a more luxury version of McDougal. No shade to anybody who lives in McDougal. You get what I'm saying? When it's like, oh, this affordable housing complex right here. That's just one upgraded place. What can be built right there that is going to put money into the community so that we can make, drive down some of these high prices of apartment complexes, right? Or make them a little bit more affordable to the average middle class person, or, and bring in money. And so that we can play around with the taxes for small businesses and Black owned businesses in Durham and bring back Black Wall Street.
I think that you're right. Those things are needed. But I think when you say what's affordable for you is $700, which another person might be $1,800. I don't think they come to that. They don't use that. They have numbers that they use to determine affordable housing, and it's based off the median income. So if whatever the median income is for that area, if it's 42,000, then you can't make over 42,000 to live in this property. So it just excommunicates the middle class person. Here's the other part with the middle class. People that are middle class don't want to live with low income. And that's not me browing this situation. It's just that is the raw truth. Somebody that's middle class that can afford $2,000 to $3,000 a month do not want to live with somebody who's paying $700 a month. But
unfortunately, that's kind of what's happening with some of these high rises, because remember, they have to dedicate 20 to 30 of those apartments and those new homes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
To make them more affordable. It may not be the whole, it might be 100,
right. They do allocate that. You're right.
Of them are middle. So you're going to do it anyway. So why not dedicate this building to, I would say not lower income. I would say income driven, right? Income driven, and create our market has changed, right? We can no longer use the standard housing, NC medium is 42,000. You can't do that anymore. I think we have to look at a bigger picture, because somebody who makes 42,000 may be able to budget better than somebody who makes 150,000.
So Renee, do you think I'm seeing? I read earlier, and it's up here. It says lab science space offices and residential units. So the people of the community, do you think if they did, because to me it seemed like the people don't want them to do anything with the space. That's what I haven't really.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, hold on. If they did do affordable housing in that area, do you think the community would want that?
I think yes, but again, affordable is so subjective to everybody. So it's going to be, it's one of those things where you lose in that situation, right? But I feel like science and all, we already have a hub at RTP, right? Where businesses, you can go and you could work, you could drink coffee, you could do all the things. We need to figure out something that is beneficial for that area. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that's a better community center. I don't know. I feel like research needs to be done, maybe looking at different states and what's working for them and see what we can do to mirror that. Maybe we need better mass transportation. Something, right? That brings jobs. Maybe we need to have, a IKEA. Go on and throw it down there. I don't know if it's big enough, if the area is big enough, something that brings jobs and it's affordable, things that people can afford. If, they're looking for homes, they want to update their homes, everybody can benefit from that. And it's a win-win. Now, it might make your property taxes go up. But, no matter what you put there, the property taxes are going to increase. It's just inevitable. But something needs to go in there so that if KP wants to open up a thrift store in downtown Durham, he can get a 5-year abatement, because whatever is being built there is going to cover some of that money, and whatever other infrastructure can come in to help take over that payment for 5 years to allow KP's business to get up and running and he can afford taxes.
Let's listen to this, see what Mark Anthony says right here.
You've gotten your victory.
The city council was originally set to vote on whether or not to rezone the site to allow Sterling Bay to build larger buildings. Plans to transform the space into high rises with offices.
Maybe he didn't say much.
To redevelop the abandoned Heritage Square shopping center in the Hayti neighborhood, abruptly pulled the plug on those plans.
The significant amount of community input we've had, that was one of the things I heard people ask for, that they would just go away and leave Hayti alone. It seems like you've gotten your victory.
The city council was originally set to vote on whether or not to rezone the site to allow Sterling Bay to build larger buildings. Plans to transform the space into high rises with offices, residential, and lab space have been controversial, with an outpouring of opposition from members of the historic community.
It would erase the neighborhood. It would literally overshadow the neighborhood.
Anita Scott Neville, director of Hayti Reborn, says she'd like to see the site redeveloped to embrace local businesses.
That plot of land, Heritage Square, is important to save. It's important to redevelop it. It's important to improve it. And it's important to do it in a way that enhances the community and that honors the community.
Now, as I mentioned, dozens of people were expected and signed up to speak out in opposition to this project, and there were a lot of people upset that they were not given this opportunity after that vote. Mayor Leonardo Williams said during this entire saga that he hopes members of the community can come together in the future with members of the city council to talk about what can be done with this site in the future. Live in Durham, Harrison Grubb, CBS 17 News.
That sounds fair. That sounds fair.
Yeah, it seemed like the community just basically wants an uplift instead of.
And it probably would have worked better if he said, "Hey, I can do these high rises," or of course they're going to have to make 30 of them affordable, right? But also keep your businesses here, and let me and include that in the upgrade, right? We want to keep the integrity of your businesses. We want to keep these businesses. I know there's a huge garden over there. We can upgrade the garden and keep that over there, but include them in the process instead of tearing it down. Does that make sense? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even think I've been over there.
Renee, I think you got a lot of ideas, and none of them shouldn't be off the table. But what I'm seeing from what I read today and listened to, because I listened to that report right there, sounds like
it sounds like people love it. It's the
hold on, Renee. Are you? I don't know if you. Go ahead. What are you saying, KP?
No, I said it sounds like I was saying, Renee have a lot of good ideas, but it sounds like the mayor has said, okay, I hear your voices and I'm going to listen to you, and let's come to the table together and figure out where we want to go with this, because it sounds like what he wants to do is give the community what they want and not what he's trying to push on. And so now I think when you involve all those voices, it's going to probably end up at a stalemate, because people may have a vision. I may show up, and my vision is long term, meaning that if we want to build Black Wall Street back, we need to start with a whole overall vision, not just this one site, but going further down that road, going to St. Frank, whatever that other church is, and all that. What's that, Teresa? And going down that street and making affordable. I shouldn't say affordable housing, but housing that allow businesses to be within that area, so that it could be its own little marketplace. So I may be thinking like that. And that'll derail this whole project, because this project is not in my vision of what I think Black Wall Street or the Hayti area should be. And it does not include this high rise.
Do you think people won't? Because affordable housing comes along with government assistance. Am I right about it?
No, it's just a developer willing to take less for, like Renee said, they may do 20%, they may do 15% of the overall building. So,
so affordable housing, the government won't have nothing to do with that. No.
That would be so that would be the government would be the lean
affordable, and I think
they would be the one.
I see where you're going.
What's that?
Go ahead, Renee.
Go ahead, Renee.
I don't know if she if her Renee, she might got some lag or something.
Yeah, she got some lag.
Mine might be a little bit lag, but I definitely feel what KP is saying. But affordable, also when we talk about affordable housing, that doesn't necessarily mean.
Yeah, I think she's running low.
You said don't mean what, Renee?
Yeah, affordable housing doesn't always mean that the government is involved, right? It doesn't necessarily mean Section 8. No. It just means that maybe they just made they chose to take 30 apartments in that unit, maybe 5 1-bedrooms, 5 2-bedrooms, 5 3-bedrooms, whatever the count may be, and they're basing it off of your income. But it doesn't mean that the government is paying the remaining. They're just saying, hey, if you want to build this apartment complex, you need to make them affordable. You need to reserve 30 to make them more affordable. And then the difference is made up throughout the course of the other apartment complexes.
And that will be
that are higher in price. Right. But it doesn't always mean like Section 8 or a voucher.
Right. And that will be the local government that's telling the developer, in order to get this approval, you have to allocate.
My lag.
Yeah, you might have to allocate this percentage. So that'll be the local government telling them that.
Okay.
But if this was a government project, they'll be building it.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to get an understanding that when I was looking different things up about affordable housing, I'm trying to understand it, So
no, okay. I get it.
Yeah. Renee, she needs to go back to her old computer. Throw the other one away.
Man, listen, she need to send them people some money every month. You got to pay them people, Renee. But I understand. But I just sound okay. She's back.
No, I think if he would have included the area in the deal, if they would have, let me not just put it on him. All of the people that were for it, I think it would have kind of been better if they would have included preserving some of that neighborhood in the initial deal with the developer.
That's looking long term. That's what I said. My vision would be looking long term. Like, we're just not going to have this block of business and it's just this. That doesn't say Black Wall Street. That doesn't say the Hayti area of 120 years ago. It simply says this was it looks It looks eerily similar to gentrification, and that's why the people are voting it down. That's why they don't want it. That's why they don't want it.
Right.
Because it's just singular vision.
Yeah, if he would have included that, because I do, like I said, I do know there's a beautiful garden over there where people can come if they need vegetables for their family and food for their family. You know, the community.
I didn't know that. We get some juice.
I'll be getting some of them. I'll be seeing some of them things.
Oh, you've been holding out.
I don't be getting. I know somebody who gets some stuff from them. They go up there.
Yeah. So, and I know they have like a beautiful. They have a. Is that grocery store that's owned by the community is over there? What's it called? I've been there a few times. They have really healthy food. It's a grocery store, and they always say it's owned by the people. It's kind of expensive. I don't know how it's owned by the people. It's like the credit union of grocery stores. Anyways, they have, a community garden. I know they have, they have different things.
Is it Aldi's or Ollie?
No, it's not. It's a name. I forgot the name, but I've been there a couple times. It's very popular.
So
it's kind of like Fresh Market. What is it?
I don't know, but look, is gentrification bad?
Absolutely.
Yes and no. And I say no because, some of it brings more money into the community. It provides things to do. I would say, we wouldn't have the unscripted hotel to be able to go to on the weekends. We wouldn't have, some of the popular downtown. Our mayor wouldn't have that beautiful area for his restaurant and all of the other restaurants over there if it didn't happen.
It seemed like it would. I don't know. I don't know.
It's good in that. I think
I think gentrification is bad all the way around, but I can see the argument that Renee makes. I don't know if that was gentrification. I think gentrification is when you have folks who traditionally could not afford to be in the suburbs, and the suburb folks left the city to live in the suburbs. And now that they have the eye on the prize of these lands, then they find a way to kind of get the people out of it so that they can come back. And then now they're abandoned in suburbs. And so now when you look at a gentrified area, when you see, people walking dogs and riding bikes to go get coffee, your areas just became gentrified. And so it loses its mystique.
Yeah. That's where I say like Black Wall Street, because now it's what Unscripted Hotel is the Velvet Hippo Hotel. Then you got Simon Dippin' Dots or Ice Cream Shop or whatever.
None of that's Black owned. I think when you have like when I lived in Tulsa, this is what I think. I think if you have an area that used to be Black Wall Street, and if this country is really about helping to right their wrongs, but on a different level, that you will allocate portions of this area to Black-owned businesses and diversified business. Like you can't be Black-owned and open up 5 juice bars, right? It needs to have it needs to be diverse. It needs to have different things. It could have a juice bar, you can have a coffee bar, but you can always have a sandwich shop, or you can have where you have Black art or whatever. I think that these places and these spaces need to be allocated first right of refusal to Black developers and Black owners that are from the area first. They should have first right of refusal. Yeah. And I think that the local government should put things in place to allow this to be built and to go forward, so that this could, if they did that, it would develop much faster and you wouldn't have all of this, because now there's a bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
So what would you say about, because it's going to take money to build whatever they go build or however they go do it up, right? As far as being able to afford, these spaces, as far as rent, rent's going up everywhere, especially.
That's going to be that. It's going to be hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube on that, because a lot of these buildings that are in Black Wall Street area, they allow other developers and other builders to come in and buy that property and just sit on it.
Oh yeah, they have a juice bar, like if you said they have, what's that apartment complex? One City. apartment complex. That and they're
you won't be able to get that back. That's why I say it's done. Once you let those people in, you cannot undo it, because
that's
you
what I'm
can't.
saying. With small business, black business, be able to afford the rent.
Well, one of my friends reached out. There is an open area over there, and she wants to reach out and either purchase it or lease it for, for her business. And crazy enough, they won't even call her back.
Yeah, I think they've let it go too far, because they didn't no one stood up 40 years ago. You would have had to stand up 40, 50 years ago and say, hey, listen, this area is allocated for black businesses only and black ownership only. We're focused on this, and this is what we're going to do. You can't do it now, because you can't tell these people who have now purchased this property years ago, right? And they sit on it, and now the value, because other businesses are coming, they might have purchased some of this stuff for $800,000, right? And now it's worth $4 million.
Oh yeah, and now Unscripted was a boutique hotel. Now they're owned by the Hyatt. You really not getting that.
You're not getting that back, and so you're never going to build Black Wall Street back to where it was, because you can't call it Black Wall Street. So at least with this Hayti area at the bottom end, I mean, I shouldn't say the bottom end, at the end where St. Mark's, that church is, you can kind of do, that's why I say you got to have a long-term vision. You can kind of start doing it right there and building it up the street.
I would build all of those business owners. If I was that developer, I would go in and ask them, what do they need? What can they do? And try to see how what you want to do, how it can conform with the neighborhood. I think if that would have been a start, and if that would have been initially, negotiated in this deal of some sort, it probably would have favored out a little bit better.
So what did that article say? They were revisiting about, did it didn't say 10 weeks, did it? I remember seeing a 10 or something. About a couple weeks or whatever it was. So I'm gonna try to go. I'm gonna try to make it. I don't know if they're gonna.
So you've been in North Carolina for a while. Like,
yep, I've been in Durham over 20 years. You
know the neighborhood? I'm not familiar, to be honest.
I go down there. I don't go that way often, but I know what it looks like. Especially when they tore down on Faber Street projects right there. It's just open area. That's what he was talking about as far as riding from, I guess, downtown to Central. What he was saying, that area, it looks, it needs some help. I'm gonna just say that it needs some work done to it. I know when I talked to him, I told him we need more recreational, something for the youth.
Do we though?
I mean, if you want to, like the term he used, if you want to keep them out of trouble,
but is that going to keep them out of trouble?
It may.
Community centers and parks and golf. How many? They're not. I think we need to face the fact, and y'all can get on me. This can be this might be
go ahead,
controversial. Can we face the fact that these young men, YN, whatever, are not interested in going to the YMCA? They don't want to play basketball.
But if you catch them while they're young, though, you got to catch them while they're
not interested in basketball.
No, you got to catch them. You got to catch them while they're
listen. I think
in elementary school.
Both of y'all make a good no. Both of y'all are correct, which is ironic. I mean, not ironic, but both of y'all are correct. Leon is absolutely correct. If you catch them in grade school, somewhere between elementary and going into middle school,
at least about third grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So elementary, third grade into middle school, which would be fourth grade. So if you catch them at that early age, and you have a something for them to do and make them used to doing that, then it probably will curb some of this stuff. Renee is right. Once they get 15 to 16,
I do. I know that.
Yeah, they gone. It's right.
I know that.
But I hear make something for the youth, and I say this because ethically, major businesses around the area, they have to contribute to the environment, right? And they have to contribute to the areas in which they have a building in which they serve, right? And the customers in which they serve. They have ethical standards. So, I'm still in a lot of business resource groups where we would go to Central, they would, offer STEM, and they would offer all of these things at, all of the HBCUs. Class participation,
But see that you talking about why they older though. You got to catch them.
I'm just saying, like either 8th grade, they're doing middle school class participation. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about 8th grade. You got to catch them
But
young,
as long
real
as we
young.
have social media, that jump, that 2nd to 3rd grade, and parents are having them on social media, that's still a thin line because they're looking up to the YNs.
What was the lab? It said a lab, science lab or something. He was talking about. So what was that?
I don't know what that is.
Right. I don't either. But
no.
You can build something to catch these kids when they're young, some kind of centers or something.
There are community centers and different things. Why are they not full to capacity?
Not in that area. I'm talking about in that area. That's what I'm just talking about.
There's the YMCA over there.
The YMCA is kind of like, let's cross town a little bit. Well, you got one downtown, the smaller one, but
right. Then you have the Boys and Girls Club.
That's what I was going to suggest. Maybe a
you got that.
Girls Club.
They have one over there.
In the net.
It's on Martin Luther King.
Yeah, they have one over there.
Yeah. But I'm specifically talking about that area. But once again, the boys they do have younger kids there too. So I mean, but I don't know.
We got to have a conversation about the one. They're not into it. They're not. We can build a 75 million.
They ain't trying to hit that. Listen, they ain't trying to hit none of this.
They not.
Wait, but what age? What age group were y'all talking about though? What age?
15.
Renee, what age are you talking
14, about? Really? 14 and higher.
Honestly, 12. Honestly, 12. Social media has ruined the fun game of being outside until the lights go on, doing something fun, kickball, basketball, football, flag ball, kayaking. Social media has ruined this. They all want to
y'all had kayaking when you was young?
No, she was in Oregon. Remember, she was in Oregon.
Oh,
they want money. They want all the. We got to quit. We got to be real honest, and this may be controversial. These young kids 12 and up don't want to play basketball. Some of them do, but majority of them don't. They want what they see on social media. They want a TikTok and do all this.
I understand 12 and up, but I don't know.
They want a TikTok.
You have to figure out something. I mean,
make a studio, a content creation studio for them to go in and take pictures and dance and do all of that. We got to look beyond that. We love playing football and staying outside till the lights go out when we were kids, and we love. People, we found things to do. You remember we would play dodgeball and all these kids don't want to do that. They barely want to be outside with their hoodies on.
I listen, both of y'all are right. Leon, I know what you're saying. I think what needs to happen is if you can change the nucleus of the family, then you can control the interests of that child. And so if the parents are able to, number one, not work 2 jobs to make ends meet, then they're home with that kid, then maybe that will change some things. Now, I think how we get a little control of the age group you're talking about, Leon, is getting control of the parents. And allowing the parents to come to a space where they can get job training of different things that are that's going to allow them to make more money, because a better them is going to be a better kid.
Right.
So if they're able to provide for this said child in a comfortable way, then they're going to be spending more time with this kid. But that time needs to be valuable. So we probably need to have some type of programs where young parents can come and learn how to do X, Y, Z. And in those programs, we need to be teaching them about Black unity. We need to be teaching them about our history. We need to be teaching them about what has been done.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't, but you got to start somewhere. You're right.
That's true. They barely want to show up to the football, their kids' football and basketball games.
Renee,
the parents be out there now. I bet them football games.
Renee, the only thing I'm doing, you're right. I coached football for 13 years. You're right. And I coach 11 and 12-year-olds. And I can say that while I had some parents that were definitely involved with their kid, I'm talking about our community, there was a lot of them that just was not. It was me picking them kids up, bringing them home. Parents was never involved. I couldn't imagine doing that, but some parents were cool with it. I'm just throwing this out there because I know that although you may not have a kid, Renee, if you had a kid, he would not or she would not be in that YN category. No different than me and Leon, because me and Leon decided that we were going to pick up our lot in life and make ourselves better, because that way we can provide a better outcome for our kids. And that shows when you look at his girls or you look at my son. because we bettered ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that maybe, like I said, an event space. If your kid likes making TikToks and videos, you know how they make the little spaces where you can go and take pictures, or it's like interactive and something more.
Well,
I
agree with that. But what I think what I'm trying to go to is maybe I was thinking that maybe we interact with the parents, but no, maybe we interact with and it will take the community. It will take people like me and Leon and a group of men getting a hold of those kids every evening and teaching them who they are and what they can be. And then you and your group are taking these third graders all the way to seventh graders, and we're showing them how to do this and how to do this, doing fun things with them and showing them so that when they go home, stuff is going to start to look weird to them. They're going to start looking at their surroundings like, you know what, I don't want this. And I just learned from Mr. Leon that if I just go to school and not just go to school to get good grades, but if I go to school to learn how to be a better student and how to be a better adult, then I can change my entire circumstances, because now I'm looking around after being at these conventions with these people like us. They're like, you know what? This ain't it. I want better. Right. And we're teaching them how to get better because they see in it, because representation means everything.
Everything. And I get it. I want, I'm looking at how we're evolving, right? Our government does not want kids to go to college. They're preventing everything. They're forcing them in trade school, which is nothing wrong with that. People make money in trade school. However, trade school isn't for everybody, right? They're capping people. They don't want them to be doctors and attorneys, and they're capping how much they can borrow, and parents can, borrow money. We have to figure out a way to bypass that, right? And to continue to motivate them to want to go and continue to be great and, look past what they're seeing online. So
absolutely. I think, right. I believe that, but I think it starts with us. We have to be the community. And in order for those kids to see, we have to get in front of them and start, because we're not engaged. Because honestly, when I'm like, listen, I don't even want to be nowhere near those YEs. But the problem is we need to be engaging to not them. But I think in healthcare, we have this thing called strives for fives, right? We will let the patients rate from 1 to 5. And so 4s and 5s, we go with them. 3s, we give a little bit of attention to convert them 3s to 4s, but you see the 1s and 2s, you let them go. Right. And I know that sounds harsh saying that about the kids, but what I'm saying is this. I read an article today. It was by this guy, ironically, a non-melanated guy named Joseph Segman. Segman. It was about, I'm going to tear up the thing, but it was about Black mentor teachers impacting high schoolers' lives. And the article was based on that. The guy was writing, and he delved into the history of time. And he said that they looked at 100 kids in these Philadelphia schools, and they were like, okay, why were you so successful? And it was because they had Black teachers. And those Black teachers, and some of the things that came out in the article, he said Black teachers, number one, when certain students have certain teachers, they're not too keen to ask questions, not to do this, because those particular teachers don't seem very motherly to them. He said that Black teachers are able to bounce in between being the teacher and being a mother figure. And that changes the whole dynamic of how that child interacts. They get suspended less when they're being educated by someone that looks like them. Why? Because we know that some of that stuff is just youthful exuberance and not prison to pipeline from the school system, right? We're not too keen to suspend them. They also said that that there was being able to identify with the teacher, and the teacher is able to coach them on, hey, look, this is what it means to be in this space. Have you guys ever heard of an HBCU? Let me tell you what HBCU is and how and why the HBCU, you know what I mean? And so these kids, these points came out as to why Black teachers were so impactful and so successful. And it's because I'm tying this back into what we're saying, is that in order to impact them, we have to be in the impact zone. And we're just not there, me included. I've called myself in the impact zone of 1. Leon may say he's in the impact zone of 2. And some kind of way, we're going to have to broaden that net if we want to change the plight of our kids.
Well, we in the meeting is in a couple of weeks, he said, so we're gonna need to keep our ear on on that, so we can show up, because I actually was trying to show up last night, but I was putting the TV up and time got away.
The one behind you?
No, not this one. This has been up. Go back and look at the other episodes. But but yeah, I actually was gonna go. The reason I knew about the meeting is I saw Tobias that was on the podcast. We had on Renee.
I like Tobias. Shout out to him.
I saw him posting about it. I was like, dang, I should try to make this meeting. And I actually had my mind set on it, but time got away. I was like, man. And I actually still was gonna go, but it was like 7:40. I was like, man, I didn't want to walk in there late. So
yeah,
I said it started at 7 o'clock. But I'm definitely trying to. I don't be knowing when the meetings be, so I just luckily seen that. So I'm gonna try to definitely go to the next one and just see what's going on. You know, hey.
Oh, the grocery store is called the Co-op.
Yeah, that's it. The Co-op. Yeah. That's the name of it. Oh yeah, that's the one on the West End. Yeah. Yeah. I cut a guy who works there. He kind of managed it.
It's a nice grocery store. I used to go there a lot.
Nice. Yeah, it is nice.
Yeah. Oh, I've never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the Co-op. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be affordable grocery, or it's supposed to be shoring up, because there's no food desert as far as that's concerned, being in that area, right?
No, it's owned by the people of the community. But to me, what do you think? It's more like fresh food, Whole Foods.
Yeah, something like that. It's more affordable.
Yeah, cheaper price. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit more affordable.
Yeah. So speaking of the mayor, he has some people that's running against him. What they say, 5 now, and one. Why? Wait a minute. Why? There's a lot of people that kind of don't like the mayor. Well, people I know personally, and I've been seeing a lot of people have things to say that are so bad. Like, what has he done or haven't done that's so bad? Do you know of, Renee? I don't know. I've met him one time. We talked, and like I said, I'm trying to dive into getting more learning what's going on, but it seems like a lot of people don't like the things he's done or have not done.
I think that he
Well, I'm gonna pull up this clip if I can find it of this guy.
Man, don't play that, dude.
You don't want to play that?
I mean, I guess the context, play it.
He didn't explain his issues well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But using, I think, a different
You don't want me to play it, KP?
Well, I don't listen. What
was your thoughts on what he said?
Of us, if you
outside of how his
I don't want to platform this guy.
Huh?
Okay.
I wouldn't want to platform him, but at this point, it's already happened. I don't know. I made my comments about the guy. There's not much scholarship between his ears. He talks on a 6th grade level.
Yeah,
and
you can't do that. You can't.
And he was all over the place. And also, there are things that are not. He stated that it's not even in the mayor's purview, but
right.
That's what the committee council for. That's what the county commission is.
So there has been.
You gotta. How do I know this and he doesn't? Right.
I was thinking the same thing, KP. What you just said. I'm like, I don't know, Mayor.
Play it.
I think he has some influence. He may not. That may not be.
There you go.
He does have some influence on how, with Duke and all these other, I think he can provide some, create these conversations to be had with.
I don't know how, but, you know what Renee said? I think that I think that this guy, if I'm the mayor, if I'm instructing him, I think that the mayor tries to make himself too accessible to people. And if you're in this position, he wants to do it earnest in his heart. But I think when you're running, this is re-election season, you should only make yourself available to not people of the power of one vote. And a lot of people are not going to agree with what I'm saying. Like that guy's one vote. If that guy had a block of votes, then that's who the mayor gives his number to have a powwow with. But this guy doesn't have a block of votes from what I understand. And I say somebody with a block of votes, somebody who has standing in the community that has influence, maybe like a pastor or maybe like a previous.
He might.
You never know. He could have a lot of people in Durham.
I get that, but what I'm saying, y'all, listen, y'all might be 100% right, but what I'm saying is the fact that he put the mayor's number on social media like that. Now that the mayor's probably blowing up, and he also put the conversation out there like that. I think that he
Why
was.
Would you give your number out to randoms? Like, I get what you're saying. Like
he's making himself too accessible to a one voter.
Not only that, to just people, because I know other people in which he's like, oh, give me a call, or whatever.
But but I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to be the mayor. He's trying to be of the people, and
it doesn't work because
it's going to backfire because he's trying to appease all the voices that you're hearing in his head. Hey, you're not accessible. Or you trying too hard. Or you act uppity. Or no, you too down to earth. Or you speaking in the vernacular like you supposed to be a politician. Why you talk like that? He's listening to all those voices, and he's trying to satisfy all of them. And you just cannot do that.
And then I think that you try to figure out, okay, so what do I work on now? And then you get so overwhelmed. It's like, well.
Yeah, I think, hey, let's play it because I want the audience to hear it.
Let me see.
This word, man. How many views he got on that?
Again, the mayor, he got credibility because he has the mayor conversation in there. And so now the mayor has inadvertently gave him platform.
Yeah, here you go.
Please turn the sound up.
Doesn't want black people to live here anymore. And he responded in my DM and basically made a bunch of excuses as to why he doesn't do a good job. And then he gave me his phone number and told me to call him. I called him. He did not answer. Now, I'm a grown man. He is not my girlfriend. I don't care if he answers the phone, but I'm finna do some complaining, especially because in his message to me, he said, if I knew the full story, I would probably feel differently. Sir, you don't know who the fuck you talking to. I'm mad because you came out your crusty lips to complain about the kids in Durham, but you won't even send them to school. Last year, the bus drivers went on a mass exodus. They had a whole strike because the superintendent promised them money that they were just not going to give them. Now, bus drivers are running like triple routes and students are late to school every single day. Meanwhile, the superintendent who fucked everything up got paid $297,000 in severance when he resigned. Mind you, the bus driver strike happened the same year as the garbage man strike. Why is everyone going on strike? Y'all have no respect for the people who work for you. Now, Durham Public Housing Authority is planning on tearing down MacDougal Terrace, and I have heard nothing about them replacing it with any new affordable housing. And the only conclusion I can come to is that they want black people to move out because y'all been gentrifying the city for the last 10 years. Y'all want white people from New York to replace the black community that has been here for over a century.
Part because DHA was only able to collect 66% of the rent it was owed in the first 3 months of this year.
I don't want to hear, well, some people just can't. Some people probably can't. I know that's a reality, but many.
St. Mark's AME Zion Church is a historically black church that was founded in Durham in 1890. And they have complained to you that if you allow the gentrifiers to build an apartment building behind the church, it will damage the foundation of this building. However, you don't care and you're going to let them do it because you don't respect the black community here. Let's talk about how the Duke employees are striking because they're underpaid and their jobs are being cut unfairly. Mind you, Duke is the largest private landowner in the city. They own 11% of the land. They are also the largest employer in the city of Durham. This affects a lot of people. They also have a $12 billion endowment. That's billion with a B. They don't even donate to the city like other Ivy League schools who they love to compare themselves to the Ivy League. They don't do nothing. Now, Duke employees want to unionize, as I understand, so they can stop this bullshit. But what are you doing about that, Mayor Williams? Nothing. My final complaint is that you and your wife opened up that nasty-ass restaurant. That was a disservice to our community. You should be ashamed of yourself, sir. You guys.
He got about 6,000 likes.
He's going to grow. He's been platformed. So, but to those that really know how to listen to people giving commentary, that was. I mean, you know.
Well, there were people in the comments that said you need to go to the council meetings. This is where you voice your complaints. But again, you talk about maybe the platform should have been given to, somebody, a pastor, somebody at the church.
I'm saying I'm using pastor, but I'm using that lightly.
Yes,
right?
but not, I'm just saying somebody
I know.
higher level, but that's what Durham looks like. That
good point, Renee. You know what? You're right. I mean? But you're right.
There's different parts of Durham, right? There's North Durham, there's South Durham, and then there's different levels of education throughout Durham, right?
That's correct.
There's a community in which he reaches to, in which the mayor tries to connect to, but it doesn't hit.
He's not going to be able to connect to that.
He's not going to exactly, and that's.
And he said, remember I talked about the campaign. Those are the ones and twos. Let them go. Let them be, because they're not going to vote for you anyway. And he said two things. He said, I've been cyberbullying the mayor. Like, who brags about being cyberbullying the mayor?
That was just like, what?
Like, what flex is that? However, in the community in which he may come from, like you say, they might be like, he ate on that. No, you don't come out saying that I cyberbullied the mayor.
I bet you somebody posted that in Are You From Durham? And I bet you.
Yeah, we got to check it out. I think I seen him. I think he was on my boy podcast. I got to go back and look and see. I think that's where I know his face from.
Oh,
but so, and my other thing is that he says that, I'm going to complain. Let me tell you about, this is why he would be considered in the ones and twos. People that are there to complain, you do not give them platform. Those there with solutions, you give them platform. You get what I'm saying? Because no matter what you say or do, they're going to oppose it, because they're just there to be naysayers. You want to talk to the people that are 3, 4s, and 5s, because those are the people that not only, if they got a complaint, they got a solution.
Right.
And that's the people that the mayor, that's who he should give attention to. Those that have complaints, legitimate, but those are also that offer solutions within the complaints. Maybe that's just the leader in me. I don't like when employees.
No, definitely. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
He's just trying to cater to too many people because he's trying to get their
votes. He's stretching that net out too wide, and they wasn't going to vote for him anyway, because they don't think that he connects to the community, because he doesn't. It's no different than if I ran for mayor. Even though I come from what we would call the hood or urban area, I have destroyed that person, right? I know how to get back into that guy, but me getting back into that guy, but trying to run and try to appeal to the higher class person, is going to be a toggle, and one or both of them going to think that I'm disingenuous.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I you're not going to get them both. You're not going to get. You're just not going to get them both.
That's like me marrying a pastor, being a first lady.
No, that won't happen.
I don't know why that one.
What?
Okay, Renee.
Yeah. So the mayor race is coming up, and it's only one that I know of so far is her name? How you pronounce her name? Is it Anjanae?
It's Anjanae.
Anjanae
Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ex-mayor William Bell's daughter.
There's a few others.
Yeah. Do you have their names?
Yep.
What about your crush? Is he running again?
Who?
No, he should.
Oh, you said her crush.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me see. Let me share.
Pablo Friedman.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think. Who else? It's two of them. I thought
let me read this right here. This is her the Pillars of Hope. She's running on hope. Once again, running on hope.
I mean, we all hope to be in a better position.
So I like this housing and healing. That sounds good. Opportunity.
You need to run and need to get rid of that hope.
Hold on.
Wish.
Hold on. Opportunity and ownership, people's safety and people's trust, environment and education. Sounds good.
He said run on wish, not hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that no one's in our seat. I hope no one. She need to turn that into a wish.
Hold on.
I wish a constituent would.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
Listen, I'm just saying, man, the hope that thing's already been done. I mean, Rena, we talked about this in the chat. I listen. That's a beautiful black queen. I definitely want to support her, and I definitely want to look into more what she has to say. But I think that in order to be a mayor, her position, no matter what she state, she's not going to be able to separate herself from her father. So she's going to be, no matter where she try to do it or not, she's going to be running on her father's platform. Now, I'm not a Durhamite, so I don't know what his platform was, for him to be 16-time mayor, but it had to have been pretty good for him to be elected for 16 years. And so, or good or bad or indifferent, why he got out or why he was voted out, I don't know. But I do know no matter what her platform is, she is going to be running on her father's platform. Whether he was real good at what he did with getting the deep, I know he was very instrumental in getting like the deep pack, a lot of these things in here. And maybe there was some controversy. I have no idea. I just know just a little bit. But I think that all that's cute that you showing, Leon, but no, ain't nobody gonna hear none of that. It's gonna be about what she's gonna be running on her father's platform. She will not be able to separate hersel's from that. How I know that? Because Kamala couldn't separate herself from Joe Biden's platform. It's just the voters are not gonna allow you to do it.
But I think people will listen, though. People will listen.
They're gonna listen, but the people that are gonna vote. And the ones that they're gonna vote, they're gonna be based off of, do we want another Bell?
I agree with that.
I don't know. Was he bad at his job?
I was hoping you guys knew. All I knew is that the man did 16 years in Durham, and I think it says every 2 years. So that means this man been elected a couple of times.
Yeah, he couldn't have been bad. He was elected. He was around for a while.
16 years, and I think that y'all run a 2-year race, so he was elected 8 times, if that's
something like that.
Wow.
I have to go back and look, but yeah, he was around for a while.
Yeah. So again, it's not if his legacy is cemented, then she could cruise in there or be a viable candidate. But if there was if it was shrouded in controversy in his last couple of terms, then that's what people are going to remember.
I would agree. We're going to have to see how that goes. Early voting starts in September.
I got my voting card today.
I'm so proud of you, KP.
I switched from Louisiana to North Carolina.
How does it feel?
I don't know yet. It just came today. So it came today. So now with my big mouth talking about Durham politics, I can actually put my vote where my mouth is.
Yep, you sure can. Yeah. and so let's plan to go to the next meeting.
Okay. Right, because listen, I know where I vote at. I know all exactly.
Right.
Look, he ready. You're official North Carolinian. How does it feel?
Yeah. I'll let you know.
Unless you want to go back. You got plans of going back?
No, this is
he
home.
He has made that clear twice to me. He's like, I'm good. I'm good.
No, this is home for me.
All right, moving on to y'all's president.
Oh God.
Moving on. Renee, you brought up to my attention of him saying that he's sending farmers back to their country so they can learn how to farm and then bring them back.
No, he said learn how to go to school and learn something.
Well, he was talking about the farmer. That's what he was talking about.
I don't know.
I
don't know how you learn. You go to school to farm.
I don't either. Let me see.
I mean, you go to college. There's those Florida, like Texas, like Florida A&M. Southern has an A&M. Agriculture, mechanical.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing though? I don't think they're going back to their country to learn about farming to come back.
They're going back because we've made a mistake.
Right. Let's listen to this.
South Africa's not sending their best.
Hold on. Here we go.
In the past, back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? You know, these are very, you know, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay, so
back to their country with a pass back in.
Well, I don't know.
Oh boy! He's like they'll go back and learn about agriculture and all of life and science.
They were sold as South African farmers who are coming here that can contribute to society immediately.
I know, but these are people that's working on the farm. That's what he's saying. He's sending them back to their countries. The one who's working for the farmers, the Latinos, and everybody else.
He wasn't talking about the South African farmers?
No.
I don't think so.
He's talking about the ones that are currently working on a farm. They're deporting them back so they can go to school and learn how to farm to come back to get back on the farm.
I mean, I thought that's what he was talking about, but I was hoping that he was talking about the South African people. But okay.
So you think somebody's going to go back and learn about agriculture and do all those things, right? Where you can get a degree and you know you could be a scientist or whatever.
So what determines that they were bad? What determines that they were bad agriculturalists? Like who's setting the barometer? He's just making up stuff.
Yeah, because they're illegal. So you're going to send them back, and they're going to go to school. They're going to learn how to farm.
That's for his base. So
to come back to the farm and wish they left.
That's for his base. That's idiotic, dumbass shit that he just spouted was for his base. So that when I'm arguing with them, it's like, no, he's sending them back so that they can learn. He's not. He's telling you that.
Inner city people don't know how to farm. Now, let me ask you this. Who are the inner city people that don't know how to do it because they tried it and it's not working out?
I need to. It's the imaginary people in his head.
Hey, look, don't.
Inner city. Who went there?
When you say inner city is black.
Black, yeah.
That's what that means.
He's going to be tweeting about y'all if we see this.
Yeah, inner city means black, and that is so far from the truth.
Is that black, brown, and everybody, or is that just black?
I think when you say inner city, when I hear anybody that from that world say inner city, I say that they're trying to say black.
Well, we all say inner city. I think if anybody say inner city, we thinking black.
So now my next question is, why is that the people that are being deported, why are their backs better than our backs?
Man, he was just talking. I'm
just asking a question.
We're trying to make sense of. Remember, I said the guy that was earlier was more of a 6th grade. That was 5th grade.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was 5th grade explanation.
We tried to tell them. They tried to tell them.
I'm just asking for clarification because I don't know if there's different backs. Who gave us the better backs? Why they get the better backs?
Renee, you can't expect us. You can't ask us to speak. We don't speak idiocy. We don't speak that.
You know.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm just asking if anybody in the audience can tell me why was God giving out better backs to certain people. Let me know. So, is there somewhere I can go to get a better back? Is there, unbig the back? Is they back skinnier than, what is going on that they backs are better than mine?
I don't know, man. You can't.
And how long is this process of sending them back to go to school to learn how to farm? It's
not about that. It's for him to be able to send massive amounts of people, deport them, or internment camps, and his base not get upset about it because they're going back to learn they're going back to learn a trade. You talking about the trade they were doing?
No, yeah, because he said they're going back. They're taking them from the farm to go back to school to learn the farm.
Yes.
He said, look,
because apparently we've been getting a bad batch of peaches and oranges because of these people didn't know what they were doing.
So they got to know how to do better.
They need to give us better product, and apparently they're remedial.
So this is what he said. He said Trump said that his administration will continue to deport criminals, but that he wants to work with farmers to find a solution for their workers. Oftentimes, immigrants who have lived in the country illegally for decades and are paying taxes. He suggested the White House was working on
$95 billion
touchback program for some workers.
But he just said he's sending them back to learn how to be better farmers.
Yeah.
Is there a farming program in these countries?
He said the administration will release new rules and regulations on migrant farm labor as the country.
Wow. So they're going to write the job duty list.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a slave trade.
What it sound like to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Some of his voters are in that, group of people. They may go back and perfect their craft. Who knows?
Yeah, he's.
They may come back and they once was a farmer and now they know how to build a house.
I will say this. Thoughts and prayers to that group. That community voted 60% for this president. So that means 6 out of 10 that you run into voted for him, support him.
Yes.
I mean, there are reasons. They're probably the most self-hating group of people. There it is, because they are definitely they came, but they don't want their brother to come, or So just remember, 60% of that voting bloc voted for Trump.
The fact that they're deporting them back to not even their country in which
I don't have a care in the world about it. Yeah. Whatever he says is best for him.
How do you go from you're Mexican but you being deported to Africa? I just, you know what I'm saying? Like
Trump is doing everything on the fly.
He said, "Oh, you gonna make a way over here. I don't care if your family in Mexico. You gonna make a way in South Africa. You go figure it out." That's wild. That's wild. But anywho, how do you guys feel? What else is on this list?
Well, one thing KP wanted to talk about was that gerrymandering, which I don't.
I suggested it. I don't know.
Yes, I was gonna say
we can't talk about it. Yeah, we can't talk about it if we want to.
Gerrymandering.
I have this little clip. I don't know if Obama's actually talking, but I thought y'all would want to see Obama. So
you trying to what I'm saying? The low blows.
I'm just saying. I thought
yes, we can.
The Obama silence breaks silence on Trump's Texas gerrymandering, says it undermines our democracy. Now, KP, explain. Do you know what's going on with this?
Yeah, basically, the state of Texas Governor Greg Abbott is proposed for their state legislation, or actually the federal legislation, to redistrict certain areas. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, Texas has X amount of districts. Mm-hmm. The five that they're centering are all minority districts. Mm-hmm. It's where all the blacks live, and a lot where the Latinos live. Mm-hmm. And I will say, parenthetically, I'm gonna say this as a side note. I think all this is to get rid of Jasmine Crockett, because her district is in it. I say all of this shenanigans, mm-hmm. what we're trying to explain right now. Just know that the end goal is only to get rid of that loudmouth Jasmine Crockett. That's mm-hmm. what this is all about. Mm-hmm. So the smoke and mirrors is, well, we're going to redistrict we're going to redraw the districts. We're going to redraw the maps. And basically, when they redraw the maps, they call this thing, it's called cracking and packing. So cracking is where they crack a black district, right? They crack it so much that they put this part over here to this part and put this part over here, so that actual community don't have much power because they don't have no representation because they've cracked it so much. Packing is where they take this group and they put it all together and gerrymander it into one district. They allow them to have black representation because that's who they're going to vote for, but their vote is so insignificant because it's just one district. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to gerrymander the maps so that they can actually get out the Democrats and get in the Republicans. Mm. Now, what does that do, Leon? The House of Representatives they're looking ahead and they're looking at that the midterm elections, some kind of way they know that they're going to lose this midterm elections because nobody likes this administration at this point, even the ones that have voted for it. And all you have to do is siphon off 10% of his voters and boom, game over, right? Which I believe at least 10% of voters have kind of left his party. And then you have the 90 or so million that did not vote. Now they're impacted to vote. So if you're looking at the midterm elections, they're going to get wiped off the map, right? But if they can redraw the map and get 5 more Republicans into those districts, then they'll add 5 more to the House of Representatives, which is like 435 seats. So what's going to happen is they're trying to redraw the map. So the retaliation of what's going to happen, which is I hope happen, is that the retaliation will be a lot of these blue states, California, New York, Maryland, and one other state that they said, well, if you do that, we're going to gerrymander all the Republicans out of their seats and make it Democrats. So they're thinking that they're going to gain 5 seats in the House of Representatives by doing this, but really and truly, they finna blow up the whole country. And what's going to happen is if they do this, and the Democratic and the Democrat states retaliate, game over for this country. Because it's going to start a revolutionary internal war, and none of this is right because you're supposed to be able to do this on a 10-year span. So they're trying to do this mid-year. So you're only able to do this legally every 10 years, but they're trying to do it mid-10 years, so within 5 years. So every state has laws in place to prevent from doing this. So if Texas subvert the law and do this, then the other states are going to follow suit and subvert the law and do it. So everybody's going to be breaking the law to match this energy. And that's when hell is going to break loose.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, hell's going to break loose.
Yep.
So if that's just a crash course.
I hope these other little red states don't try to follow because, you know, blue states take care of the red states, so they're going to be broke.
Well, yeah, the red states, they don't have enough because most of the Democrats that are in the red states is very little. So they're going to lose in the numbers, in the sheer numbers. So the Republicans, like I said, they have more. Like California has all those electorates. So, you know, all those electorates. And so, you know, in states like California, you know, they're going to be able, they might swing at 15 plus. Where they're trying to swing at 5. They're trying to do all of this because they want to get rid of Jasmine Crockett.
I do like how Gavin Newsom is not backing down.
No, he's actually talking shit too. He's like, go ahead, do it. I dare you.
He said, I mean, how about we just not pay federal taxes?
Yes.
So they would have to vote on this or no?
Who?
Whoever. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
The state representatives that are there, they're supposed to, they have to vote on this.
Right. That's why they left from DC and they're all in Texas.
Yeah, they left and went. No, they left Texas and they're in. They left. Yeah, the Democrats. They're supposed. They decided to exercise this thing called a quorum.
Right.
And what that is that so they left the state, so the state can't take a vote.
Oh yeah, they left Texas to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they left Texas and now. They doing it's like those prisoners, you know, that escape and now they doing live. Like I know y'all looking for me, but you know what I mean. So they're doing these Osama bin Laden videos where you know they're doing these videos and they're in other states. And so Governor Abbott has issued a arrest warrant so that when they do come back into the state of Texas, that they will be arrested.
And he can't do that. That's illegal. So
listen, him doing this is illegal.
Right.
What the Democrats is going to do is illegal. And so there's part of me that's like, you know, it's about time the Democrats start breaking the law because the Republicans have been doing it. And I'm tired of, you know, we always get the side of the people, you know, there are people, but there are 2 parts of them. We get the side that are like, no, we're just going to believe in democracy and the rule of land. No. I've been studying history too long to know that they break the law when they want to break the law. And you know what? There's no penalty. There's just breaking the law with impunity.
I love that they got up and left and how they own Instagram on video. Like Jasmine been on Instagram.
Right, yeah, they're on Instagram. They're doing them Bin Laden interviews. Like, yeah, I'm over here. And, you know, I'm in this cave.
Tell her. She's like, yeah, I'm good, guys. If you're worried about me, I'm okay.
Right. So if they do that, then the Democratic states are going to file suit and break their laws and do it. And now you're going to have a cluster. So
I picked the wrong time to try to learn politics.
Well, yeah, because right now it's like you're trying to learn the right way, and they just went totally left. You're trying to say
I picked the wrong time to learn.
This thing is all over the place.
I thought I explained it in a way for you to understand it, man.
No,
I'm just talking about what all is going on
right now. You can teach politics to kids in school no more. It's out the door. You can't right now. I mean, you can give them the gist, right, and say you're supposed to. This is what they should be doing, but as soon as they
listen, this last 6 months with Trump, he's been breaking the law. It's just the problem is when he calls, he called. So basically, this started with Trump calling Governor Greg Abbott and said, "I need those 5 seats." No different. So Greg Abbott answered like, "I get that for you." No different than when he called Roethlisberger, whatever the guy in Georgia for election.
Oh,
when he called him and said, "Hey, I need 11,200 and so many votes," that person said, "No, that's breaking the law."
Right.
He picks up the phone and calls Abbott and say, "I need 5 seats." "Got you, sir. We'll break the law to do it." Because he has such a tight control over him. So,
I mean, he's been doing crazy. I mean, this fool and so. Shoes, gold bars, Teslas, now Amber Chrome. I mean, now jeans from American Eagle. I mean, it's just.
Hey, look, Renee. I say it's a bad time. Look, I sit down, talk to the mayor. Seem like a good dude. Find out 1,000 people don't like him.
Right.
I'm like, hold on, man. What's going on, man?
It's gonna be that race is gonna be interesting. But Leon, to be honest with you, it's really the wrong time to learn because. If we go back on everything that happened, the events of the day to the events of last week and the week before, everything is going to involve the Trump administration breaking the law or subverting the law. So I can teach you what the decorum's supposed to be, but it's going to be wrong because they're subverting the law.
And he's going to look like he's lying because you're going to be like, you told me it's supposed to be this, but he's doing this.
But people keep saying he's breaking the law. So help me understand this. If he's every time he's doing something, he's breaking the law.
Yeah. He created immunity for himself.
Why can't
all presidents, remember? So that's when remember he's like, Obama needs to go to jail. And Obama and even the judge he was trying to put in jail for a while, reverse Uno card on him and use the same law against him. So
they
have immunity.
So do you think any of presidents before him, not saying they would have did things, if they would have done things for the people, like KP, I think you said that some podcasts ago. Like you said you thought that, I don't know if you said Biden or Obama, somebody should have, or somebody needs to come along and break the law also. And I said, you can't say that, I forgot how you put it, but if they would have did it for the people, for the
breaking
best
the law
returns of America.
Yes.
But he's not breaking the law for the people. He's breaking the law for himself.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But I know that. But if they would have done that, or could have done that, I don't know.
Well, according to Trump supporters,
I'm saying he's not getting no trouble.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. According to Trump supporters, Biden broke the law by doing student loan forgiveness. Okay, so they said that he broke the law, that it was unconstitutional, so he did it through executive order. He tried to go through the Congress, but it wasn't, so he did through executive order, and he did it through the power of the government in which he has control over, right? And order, which is who services the loans. And so that's why Trump came back and broke the law by undoing what Biden did, and then made it kind of did a thing where he just eliminated everything that Biden did that was for. So you got to understand, Biden did it to help the people, which you have people that are everyday your neighbors that are paying $500 and $900 a month in student loans, and it's hard for them to live everyday life. And so all of a sudden they get a bit of reprieve where it frees up $600 for their household. So now you have your neighbor who can actually breathe a little bit. And then you have the SAVE Act that Biden did, which it took a percentage of what you made income, and you couldn't go above 4 or 5% of your income in student loan repayment. Trump said, no, y'all, he done away with that, and y'all gonna pay us what you owe us. And so everything he's done is for the top percentage of earners, but also business owners and the entities, let's just say like banks and et cetera, places like that. Everything he's done is to benefit them.
Right.
Whereas Biden did some things to benefit the people in which he was elected to serve. So
remember, Obama broke the law by creating the Affordable Care Act because they didn't feel that was needed. Remember?
Well, yeah. Well, the part of it, what they say was breaking the law was the individual mandate. Mm-hmm. You can't make people pay into a system that they didn't sign up for. And so actually that failed. That's why that was one of the first things that Trump was able to go before the Supreme Court and argue that, hey, the individual mandate to make people pay into a system that they didn't agree to sign up to.
So what Biden did for student loans, that was actually breaking the law.
That's what they said.
According to the Trump supporters.
According.
Yeah, and all the people who got the PPP loans and didn't have to pay the money back, all of the Congress people who took advantage of that and got hundreds of thousands of dollars and got it, forgiven, they were the main ones that felt like if you took out a school loan, you should pay that back.
That's what she's saying is they were being the biggest hypocrites on planet Earth.
Yes, that was very nice, but thank you, KP, for catching that shade. Yes.
Yeah, but that's typically them. Whatever they're boasting and fighting against is the very thing that they actually have been afforded to do. When you have these congressmen talking about no abortions, this and that, but secretly you find out that he paid for an abortion, a private abortion for his mistress, right? But he don't want you to be able to have access to choice, So it's whatever they say is something they've already done.
All them Congress people getting picked up for being pegs.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing. All of it. Some of them are youth pastors. Some of them are within the state houses, and they're all over.
It's so weird because it's most of them that's been speaking up about it, but they've been getting arrested.
They are the ones for Christian values and all this. And I say this here: the only reason why they against people having abortions is because they want more stock. They want more stock to molest.
Yes, that is very true because they've been getting picked up. Every time I look on Instagram, some councilman, pastor, somebody is getting picked up.
For possessing that. And that's the argument that I use a lot of times when I end up in these debates and they talk about if you see this number 13/50. When you're arguing or debating a someone that doesn't that who they are, that 1350 is basically they saying 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the crime. That's the stats, right? But what they don't realize is in my debate when I argue with them is I'll be like that stat that come from the Bureau, come from not the labor statistics, but the FBI put that out in 2019. It said arrest. It didn't say crime. It was arrest.
Right.
So, but the number that I throw at them, and you guys is that number 3171. Right. When they throw out that 1350, you throw out 3171. You know what that is? White males represent 31% of the population, but also represent 71% of child pornography.
Yeah, speaking of that, look, so I don't know how much y'all checked out the Candace Owens things, right? I've been trying to figure out why she was suing the the president over there in the what is it? What country is that? Not
France.
France. Is it France? I think so.
Yeah, Macron talking about his wife was a man.
Yeah, man. So I asked somebody why she doing all this, and they said she said her fight is against people like that. I guess not pornography, child abusers or pedophilias and stuff like that. Is that part of what she's doing?
That don't have anything to do with pedophilia. It's the same thing they were saying that Michelle Obama is a man. She's trying to assert that Macron's wife is indeed a man.
I got that part. I tried to somebody told me that's part of what she
But
does.
I don't feel like those two are totally different. Like that's across that.
Well, no, Renee, I get it, you know, but I think that she's a grifter. She's going to go to where the money is. She's going to go to where the clicks are. She's going to say the most controversial things so that she can draw attention to her page.
Well, I think the little part that I did. So the little part that I did look at, it did have something to do with. I mean, it was so much. I couldn't even take it. I turned it off. It was so long. But the kid, I don't know if it did have something to do with a kid performing at a play, doing a play. It was younger. It was much, and the lady was much older than the kid. It was something. It had something to do with kind of like pedophilia stuff. It did have something to do with that. It's tied into it.
It's hard for me to correlate, but
yeah,
I have a topic, and I want you guys to give me your opinion. It talks about a transgender but we, you know, in the community they call them studs, right? That's when the woman is more manly, you know, than the woman that they like. So I read this post on Instagram where this woman, stud lady, was dating this girl who cheated on her with a man and got pregnant. Right? You feel me? The man didn't want the baby anymore. The man didn't want the baby or anything, nothing to do with her or the baby. So her and the stud got back together. You know, she accepted her, you know, they got back together. She signed the birth certificate, right? Stay with me. The stud daddy signed the birth certificate. They end up breaking up. She ends up getting back with her baby daddy, and they're suing the stud daddy for child support. How you feel?
That can't be real.
Okay.
They're
going after her for child support.
Only because she signed the birth certificate, which makes it her the legal guardian. But then I don't know if the courts, I don't think the courts gender anything, because you know why? Because women can be on child support too.
That is very true. I don't think
so it's not gender.
I think it's more of, how dare you?
Well, you say that, but that happens to a lot of men who raise other men children, right?
That is true. I would reverse Uno card and request full custody.
I don't want to talk too much about that, but where did you see that at?
Yeah, that one's
I just feel like your thoughts. The girl was talking about it. She was like, the stud was like, I am going through this. You're not gonna believe what happened, and what, you know, this is what I'm going through. That's crazy.
I would say that the study was the stud daddy, and y'all see this one can't talk seriously.
I won't hurt you because you be trying. Go ahead, KP.
No, you know what? I don't know what to say.
Look, I don't even know why you was trying to even dissect this topic.
Because I was trying. Well, y'all got kids, and I don't know if you. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know the custody situation system or whatever. But the stud was stressed.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, listen. Let's put a pin in the study. We'll come back to it.
The steady and the steady. Hey, make sure you go to impl4merch.com. impl4merch.com. All things impl4merch.com. impl4merch.com. Anything else? That's it.
No, I knew I was going to stump y'all with that one, but it was a true topic. Yeah. It was a true topic.
Yeah, leave that to the shade room.
Yeah. All right, there you have it for another episode of the MPL4 podcast. And remember, seize the opportunity to grasp your dream.